Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Fremennik province task system. In this video today, we'll be focusing on the medium tasks. Now, before we go through the actual tasks themselves, we're going to go over a few things which are the requirements and items needed in order to complete these tasks. So first of all, for the requirements, you would have needed to complete these quests: the Fremennik Isles, Garden of Tranquility, and a Fairy Tale Part 2 Cure Queen in order for you to use the fairy rings. For skill requirements, you will need level 55 Hunter, level 48 Cooking, level 42 Thieving, level 33 Crafting, and level 20 Defense. And these are the items you'll need. You'll need a Dramen staff or Lunar staff in order to use the fairy rings, unless you've completed Fairy Tale Part 3, which removes the need for them. You'll need a pet rock, which we can obtain during the quest, unless you happen to have it in your bank. 3 Molten Glass, Yak-Hide armour, which will be both the body and the legs. A Glassblowing Pipe, just check you have one in your tool belt, as it isn't an item you automatically start with the tool belt. You'll need a raw bass and a ring of Charos activated. You'll need a enchanted lyre or regular lyre. Now, if for any reason you don't have a lyre anymore, I'll quickly tell you how to go about remaking one. So what you need to do is cut some branches from the weird tree that is located in the Fremennik province area, south of the Fremennik province lodestone. You'll see there's a tree icon and there's always loads of rabbits around it. What you need to do is then fletch that branch from the tree in order to make the actual lyre's wooden part, and then what you need to do is speak to the troll who lives near the golden sheep and the golden apple tree, which is nearby to where that tree is, and purchase some gold wool from her or him, whatever the troll's gender is, I can't remember. And then what you need to do is spin the golden wool on a spinning wheel to turn it into a ball of golden wool, then use that on the wooden part of the lyre in order to create the actual lyre itself. You'll need a bucket of milk, or just a bucket, 500 coins or more in total. You'll also need a teasing stick, which you can purchase from any sort of hunter area, and a hatchet and knife. Again, the ones in your tool belt should work. So that is it for the requirements and items. Now onto the tasks themselves. So first of all, these tasks can be completed in any order. You don't have to follow the order that I'm going to go through in this video. The only reason I do this particular order is it's the easiest way of going about completing all the medium tasks as one set. On that note, you may have already completed some of these tasks before during your general adventures across RuneScape, so it may not come up saying you completed a task because of that reason. So the thing I'd recommend is check what task you've already completed, and to do that you want to go to the Heroes tab, which is the helmet with the horns icon, go over to the achievement section, and then from the drop down menu choose Fremennik, and then any tasks that have a gold tick next to them have been completed, so you won't need to worry about completing that particular task. Anyways, now onto the actual tasks themselves. So we are currently at the Zanaris fairy ring, which obviously you can access by going to any of the fairy rings across RuneScape and warping back to Zanaris. Now the reason we're starting here is one of the tasks is to use the fairy ring to go to a particular area, so that's why we're starting at this point. So the first task is called Fairy Mountaineering, and that's to use a fairy ring to appear on a mountaintop near the windswept tree. So the code to go to that fairy ring is DKS. So obviously with your Dramen or Lunar staff equipped, unless you have Fairy Tale Part 3 completed, click the fairy ring, punch in the code DKS, and as soon as you appear at the mountaintop, the task will be complete. The next task is called Big Game Hunter, and that's to successfully hunt a Saber-toothed kayak. Now this requires 55 Hunter, the Teasing Stick, hatchet and knife. So what you want to do is head to the Saber-toothed kayak area, which is actually near where we are now. So you want to go down the mountain so you're near where Olaf is, and then head north to the snowy hunter area, and you should see some Saber-toothed kayaks about. What you need to do is construct some traps by using a hatchet and knife on a tree, and then obviously selecting the trap hotspots to build some traps. Then what you need to do is use your teasing stick to annoy one of the kayaks to come after you, and keep jumping over the traps that you've made, and eventually one of the saber-toothed kayaks will fall into the trap, and then what you need to do is loot the remains from the trap and the task will be complete. The next task is called You Know You Want It, and that's to charm the fossy griman into accepting a raw bass. Now you should remember this from the Fremennik Trials quest. We had to get the fossy griman to enchant the Lyre in order to complete one of the Fremennik Trials. So what we need to do is go back to where you spoke to the fossy griman to recharge our Lyre, but you're also going to need the Ring of Charos activated, equipped, in order to be able to trick it into accepting a raw bass instead of a shark. So you'll find the summon area sort of on this little peninsula south of where the Relica town is. So just watch where I'm going, I'll take you to it. So you'll see this area here. What you need to do is equip your Ring of Charos and then use your raw bass on the offering bit, and the fossy griman will appear, and just use the charm option to convince it that it's a small shark, and then the fossy griman will enchant your Lyre and the task will then be complete. The next task is called Who's a Good Boy, and that is to interact with a pet rock. So if you've dropped your pet rock, it can be reobtained from Askeladden, who is in front of the Long Hall's entrance in Relica. So head to Relica and you'll see Askeladden nearby. He's the little kid, and talk to him about asking for another pet rock. Once he gives you the pet rock, you want to choose the interact option and obviously then play around with the pet rock, and once you've done that, the task will be complete. The next task is Fremennik History 101, and that's to learn the history of the Fremennik and the Outlanders from Chieftain Brunt. So Chieftain Brunt is in the Long Hall, which we're near now, and what you need to do is speak to him, and you want to go through all three options to learn the history of the Fremennik and the Outlanders from him. Once you've gone through all the dialogue and listened to all the stories and history, it should then come up with the task being complete. The next task is called Fremental, and that's to make a cheese wheel in the dairy churn in Relica. So what you want to do is, the dairy churn is near where the dairy cows are in the eastern part of Relica. Now obviously if you don't have a bucket of milk with you and just obviously have the bucket, you can now use the cows to get the milk, and then when you're ready you want to choose the option to use the dairy churn, and then it should come up again with all the things you want to make, and you should be able to select cheese wheel, and once you have made the cheese wheel with the dairy churn, the task will be complete. The next task is called Only Takes a Little Vial, and that's to make 3 vials in the furnace building at Relica. So the furnace building in Relica is the very westernmost building in the town, so you want to head in that direction now, and then when you're actually in the furnace building you then want to turn your molten glass into vials, and this obviously requires your Glassblowing Pipe in your tool belt. So what you want to do is click the molten glass, and it should come up with a little interface saying what do you want to make, and then you want to obviously choose vials and click that, and then once you've successfully made 3 vials, the task will be complete. The next task is called Grand Theft Fish, and that is to steal a fish from the fishing stall in the Relica Marketplace. So the Relica Marketplace obviously is pretty obvious where that is, and you'll see some various fish stalls around. What you need to do is successfully steal a fish from one of the fishing stalls, and then once you've done that, the task will be complete. Now just a note, lobsters are not fish and do not count for this task. If you manage to steal a lobster, unlucky for you, you're going to have to try again to get an actual fish. The next task is called Cool Story Bro, and that's to watch a shouting match between the Fremennik Isles tower guards. The towers are where Jatizo and Nightisnot face each other across the strait on each side. So obviously depending on whatever side you're on will depend on what tower you need to go up. You'll see the Jatizo tower to the west and the Nightisnot tower to the east. You want to climb the tower and then right click the guard, select watch shouting, and you'll see a little cutscene where they basically shout insults and that to one another, and once you've fully watched all that cutscene, it will then come up with the task being complete. The next task is called Yak Attack, and that's to wear Yak-Hide armour and kill an ice troll, and this requires the Fremennik Isles quest completed. So what we need to do is head over to either Nightisnot or Jatizo, doesn't matter which one you go to as there's ice trolls on both. Once you arrive on either end of the island, you want to head to the area which contains the ice troll. So for Nighter's Knot, you need to go across the bridge in order to access where the ice trolls are, and for Jatissa, you need to go through the northern gate and then you access the ice area there. So what you need to do is kill an ice troll male with your Yak-Hide armour equipped, so obviously that is both the body and legs. Shouldn't take long to kill them, and this armour also helps protect you against the ice trolls, and then once you have done that, it will then come up with task being complete. The next task is called You Really Don't Need Any More Shoes, and that's to look at Ursa's options for recolouring your boots in a clothes shop in Relica, and this requires you to complete the Fremennik trials. Now, this person that we're going to go speak to is actually who we need to talk to once you've completed all the medium tasks, so you can choose to leave this one till last if you wish, but it's not going to really make much difference in terms of speeding up. But what you need to do is go over to her and speak, or right click even, to choose the option to change your shoes. Now I think you need to make sure you have all your weapons and armour unequipped and also any overrides deactivated in order to do that. Now you don't actually have to change the boots to complete this task, you need to literally just view the different options. So obviously open the window and then close it, or choose different shoes if you wish, I don't care. And then once you've done that, the task will be complete. Now, if that was the last task you need to complete, it should come up with a message saying congratulations, you've now completed all the medium tasks, and it can obviously get you rewards. Now, for any reason that didn't come up, it could be A, you clicked through the pop-up message too quickly and obviously haven't seen it, or you may have not completed one of the tasks correctly. So if this is the case, you want to go and check you've completed all the tasks by going to the Heroes tab and choosing Achievements, and make sure that all the medium tasks have a gold tick next to them. But hopefully that shouldn't be the case, and obviously we can now get the rewards. So we need to go speak to Ursa in the clothing shop in Relica to claim our reward. So, once you're in the clothing store and spoken to her, she will congratulate you on completing all the medium tasks and give you rewards. So well done guys, that's obviously all the Fremennik medium tasks completed. So we'd have gotten these rewards: an antique lamp, which would have given us 10,000 experience in any skill over level 40, and you'll now get the Fremennik sea boots too, with the following additional benefits. So when worn, they access to the broken pier shortcut between Miscellanea and Etc., which will just save you time running to either end. When operated, you have the ability to teleport using the Lyre once a day without using a charge. And at all times, approval is now gained at an increased rate on Miscellanea and Etc. So that is when you're doing your island management, where you normally have to use resources to get your approval rating up. It will now go up a lot higher than what it did before, so that's pretty handy. So there we go, that's obviously all the tasks completed. Overall, pretty easy, nothing really too difficult there, and the rewards obviously are a lot better, particularly the approval increase for Miscellanea and Etc., as the island management is quite a good money making method. I still use that myself now, and I know I've recommended that to you guys in the past, so obviously that makes doing that a little bit easier. And obviously we're now about to be able to get better rewards when we complete the hard and elite tasks, and again, when I have made guides for those, they'll be available in the video description below. But yeah, I don't think you'll run into any problems following my guide. However, if you do get stuck at all, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers everyone, bye bye.